Welcome, ladies. It's here. I don't know if you were dreading this day. I think most of you were very excited about this day, even if there is a little piece of you inside that wasn't 100% confident and comfortable and all of that, which is perfectly fine. We overcome the fear, we overcome the lack of confidence by action. And so by taking action today, regardless of how you were feeling up until last night or even this morning, taking action is how you overcome those fear. Like, it's not about, you're never going to be ready to do something. Like, you're never going to be fearless and you're never going to be confident before you do something. That happens with actually taking the action to do the thing that scares you, or the thing that, gives you palpitations, or the thing that keeps you up at night. The only way to overcome it is to actually do it. And you have. I'm not going to talk a lot today because I want to give you the whole time for any questions that all of you have. But I just want to continuously remind you of why you're doing this. You are healing your body because you're the only one who can. You're the only one who can take the steps and the action and create the mindset and be in the energy of healing your body, so that you can be free of symptoms, free of pain, free of cravings, free of the 3 p.m. slump when you have no energy. And when you're free of all those things, you know what you do? You know why you're healing, in case you haven't noticed, so you can live. So you can live your life to the fullest. When we all have these incredible plans in our head and ideas and things we want to do, even something as simple as waking up and doing a workout some days, right? But if our body can't keep up with us, if our body doesn't have the energy, if the body doesn't have the literal physical capability of helping us do the things that we have, all the ideas and plans and dreams and visions we have in our head, it can't happen. It can't happen. You can have the best intentions in the world and you can have this vision for your life that you want to live. But if your body's tired and overburdened, it's going to hold you back. You literally just won't be able to do that. So what are we doing with this? We're healing you so that you can live life. So you're not just surviving every day, which is, I hear so many women tell me, and I say, how are you doing? Oh, surviving. All the time. Say, how are you doing today? Surviving. People that I know in my personal life, women that I meet virtually that I don't know anything about them. Oh, surviving is a word I hear over and over and over again. We don't want to just survive. We want to thrive. And you want to have an amazing quality of life where you are energetic and excited and able to fulfill whatever it is lights you up every single day. All right, let's open it up for questions, ladies. Take it away. Today's session is all for you. Who wants to start? You want to share about your symptoms if they're coming up for you? You want to share? Marianne, go ahead.
Hi.
Hello.
So today is day 2 for me. I started one day ahead.
Right.
It's been great. I struggle with, and I'm struggling to say this, with the celery juice. It's not my cup of tea, but it definitely does the trick. Because it cleanses me out more than I would want, but it's good. I'm a little bit confused because I feel like I'm the water retention or whatever else is out of me, but then I feel like my stomach's a bit hard. I don't know how to explain it. So I don't think it's bloating, or I don't know if that's because it's cleansed out. So I'm not very sure about what I'm feeling.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the smoothie, but it does come to 1 liter. So I just wanted clarity on whether or not that should be 500 ml or 1 liter.
All right.
And then the other thing is I'm struggling to keep up with the amount of food. So I think one of our worries was, oh my gosh, we're going to be hungry.
Right.
On the contrary, I ended up skipping I just couldn't. I couldn't stomach eating anymore. So that's quite entertaining. The other thing that I'm valuing is I'm drinking so much more water. And I have a tendency to struggle with water intake. Like I'll walk around all day with a 1 liter bottle. And a lot of times I just come home with that same 1 liter bottle because don't like to drink water. And I think with the fruits and the drinks, I crave water. So I'm really happy about the water intake.
Good.
What else? I'm just sharing. I'm excited. I'm happy. It is an investment for sure. And then the last thing, maybe the critter brain is asking me, so then what after the 21 days? Like, I'm just curious, is this something that is achievable to keep up with the celery juicing on a regular, or is that, am I just jumping ahead? So those are kind of the thoughts in my head and where I'm at physically and emotionally.
Amazing. I'm going to work it backwards. Yes, what I'm teaching you is a lifestyle. I've been having my celery juice is relatively new to me. I've been having my celery juice for about 3 years now. But before that, I was having a smoothie. I've been having a smoothie, lemon water and a smoothie, or a combination of either lemon water or a smoothie, or just a big bowl of fruits for the past 10 years.
Celery juice daily?
Celery juice was because I was only introduced to the idea of celery juice. I think it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah, so that was relatively in my 10, 12-year journey. That's relatively new. But at the very beginning of my journey, I would rotate between smoothies and maybe eggs for breakfast. Smoothies, eggs, until I discovered that eggs, that was 6 years ago, eggs completely throw off hormones. So I removed the eggs. Like, those are the only things I would have for breakfast. I mean, like bread, cheese, and all of that was out for breakfast. So yeah, it's just either smoothies. And when it gets colder, I'll have maybe boiled potatoes or something for breakfast. And you have that in your material, like cold weather options. I might have a veggie broth. I might have a vegetable soup, depending on the weather. But yeah, because here's the thing, once you get into feeling the difference, and once you get into where you were actually seeing and feeling your symptoms reverse, like disappear, this is what's going to push you to keep going. It's not going to be smooth sailing. So it's not going to be where you're going to be, eating and drinking and following the plan exactly without a single glitch for the next 6 months, because it typically takes about 6 months for it to really become a lifestyle. You're going to have days where you're not going to want to do it, right? You're going to have days where you're going to want to have your eggs, or you're going to want to have bread and cheese. And that's fine. And that's why I told you from the very beginning, it's a few steps forward and 1 step back. But what's going to happen is the space between the times that you do that is going to get further and further and further apart. So yeah, this is a lifestyle, because once you get to that space where I'm talking about, where you're thriving, why would you want to go back to the reason why you're in this program now, right? Once you get past it, once you've healed, and those of you who have autoimmune or on medication or any of that, what happens is you will retox your body, and the same way that you got rid of the symptoms will creep back up. So that's what's going to keep motivating you to keep going. The smoothie is a lot. It is a liter. You can drink it as slow as you want and take as long as you want to drink it, or you can drink half and then use the other half as a snack, as your mid-morning snack.
Great. Because just to ask, because I read that all of that has to be done by 8 a.m. So that's not the case?
You want to have the lemon water and the celery juice and at least half the quantity of the smoothie, done. If you're an early riser, it will be done by 8. Some women here don't wake up until 8 or 9, so they're going to adjust it according to their schedule. But you don't want to the most important thing is you don't try and you don't want to go more than 2 hours without eating something generally during the day. So you were saying that you were struggling with the quantities. As long as you are fueling your body regularly, right? And this is pure nutrients, pure fuel. So even if you can't finish something, don't skip. No matter what you do, don't skip. Have half the quantity, and then maybe an hour or 2 later, you have a little bit more. All of that works. The most important thing is to not skip, not let your body and your liver go for too long from when you wake up without giving it anything, and then not eating ideally past 7. So if most people are going to sleep by 10 or 11, 7 p.m. is your cutoff point to give your body time to digest and be done with digestion. And then the liver can start to heal and regenerate while you sleep.
Okay.
Does
I
that
have
help?
2 more questions. Yes, I have 2 more questions if you don't mind.
Yes.
The lemon water, I used to have that, and then I stopped for a long time because of the concern of the impact on the enamel, the teeth.
Yeah. No. Lemons, as soon as they're acidic, but as soon as they enter your body, they turn alkaline. So
But
you
does it
have, there's
affect the
more
teeth
of a
though?
worry, like what's going to ruin the enamel of your teeth is going to be caffeine, is going to be any source of caffeine, right? Coffee, tea, matcha, it's going to be the acidic foods, it's going to be sodas, it's going to be bread, it's going to be cheese. Those are things that are acidic inside, outside and inside your body. They literally erode not just your teeth, they erode your organs, they erode your bones. So lemon water doesn't do that.
Okay. And then I'm not very clear on the substitutes. So what I understood was we can have the vegetable, roasted or steamed vegetables, the salad, and then we can also introduce for these 3 days the beans, the rice. But I'm seeing and hearing a lot of substitutes that are going on. I guess I'm missing that. So can you add clarity as to where I go for the substitutes?
You have a page in your eating schedule for the substitutes, and the substitutes are basically, if you can't find celery, what do you have instead of celery if you can't find it? And that will be either a cucumber juice or like a ginger drink.
Okay.
If you can't find, mainly for when we start on Sunday, right? When you've got a basic set of vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, it's mainly for if you can't find those vegetables, then what are the substitutes for those? And then there's the cold weather substitute, but I wouldn't look at those yet until you're done with the 9 days. And if it gets really cold, and then you would look at the cold weather substitutes, particularly for breakfast. But once we're done with the 9 days, in these first 3 days, there aren't really any, unless you can't find celery juice, there's no really, or unless you can't find berries, right? The substitute for berries right now would be pomegranates or any kind of berries if you can't find blueberries. But in these 3 days, you have a lot of flexibility. So if you can improvise, and I forget who asked that in the group, if she can improvise, if you can just follow the basic plan and make up your own recipes in these first 3 days, making sure you're keeping out wheat, dairy, sugar, all of that, of course, you can also do that. You literally can't do this plan wrong. Let me reassure you, you can't do it wrong. If you eat a little bit more, if you have a vegetable and you're not sure if you're supposed to have that vegetable, like, you don't make mistakes with fruits and vegetables. You can't do it wrong. Even if we come and do like the more strict plan starting Sunday, you still can't do that wrong. If you decide to have eggplants instead of broccoli, right? That's still a vegetable. It's still going to heal you. So take off that pressure that like every little thing needs to be exactly perfect, because this is a lifetime process. It is a lifetime journey. You are going to have to find the rhythm of it that's going to work for you in terms of planning, preparation, availability of ingredients, to your point also of how do you keep doing this for life. So I think it comes from, it does come from diet culture, that if you're not doing everything exactly right, the diet won't work. The only way this won't work is if you bring in the bread and the cheese and all that list. That's the only way that you're going to delay. It's not even that it's not going to work. It's going to delay your results. But as long as you're doing fruits and vegetables, and as long as you're doing the salads, and as long as you know that these first 3 days, you can have a little bit of protein, a little bit of whole grains, and then starting Sunday, we're not, it's going to work and you're going to get the results. Does that answer your question? I don't know. Let me know. Marianne, you're muted in case you're answering me or trying to. All right. Anybody else have a question? Oh, Marianne, you were asking also about the bloating. So remember I told you yesterday, the bloating can happen. And if you're experiencing bloating today from the quantities of vegetables and fruits that are entering your system, that is expected, because these are what we call the gut scrubbers. They are clearing, and the celery juice will go straight to your liver. The berry smoothie will go straight to your liver, and they're going to push out whatever is clogging your liver. And that's why you might feel right after you have your celery juice and your berry smoothie, you have to go to the bathroom. And then it's just like a lot comes out. We want that to happen. We can't start the healing process. We can't start benefiting, right? We can't start getting all the benefits of replenishing the deficiency until we've like pushed out that sludge and gotten rid of it. So don't be alarmed if you are going to the bathroom more than usual. Don't be alarmed if like the celery is the trigger for going to the bathroom. That doesn't mean that something is wrong. It means the celery is doing its job.
Yeah, it's definitely doing its job. It just makes it difficult to go to work or go out, because I'm genuinely concerned.
Yeah, that is the challenge, whether it's that or whether it's peeing all the time. But that again, there is a recalibration time for that, and then it tapers off. Like for sure, 3-4 years later on, I don't have celery and have to run to the bathroom every single time. Like the initial big clearing happens. It might happen and then ease off a bit, and then you might find in a month or two it might happen again. And the reason for that, and the same with the detox symptoms, so you might be feeling tired today, headaches, low energy, and then that clears up. And the more you keep eating this way, maybe next month, maybe in a couple of months, you might find all of a sudden there's another dip. And the reason that happens is because, there's layers that we're clearing through, right? Today, we're just getting to that first layer, clearing. And then your body might just be like, I'm used to this process. And then it'll clear another layer. And every time it clears another layer and goes deeper, you might feel the detox withdrawal symptoms again. It's not something to worry about, as long as you're always conscious that now your liver is just functioning, like your liver is not doing what it's supposed to do. And what your liver is clearing is years and years and years and years. So the liver is sort of the first organ that takes charge, but then you have your intestines, and then you have your kidneys, and then you have your lymphatic system, and then you have your skin. So all of these organs are going to be pushing out toxins and clearing toxicity. And if you have been, and all of us have been eating this way our entire lives, you're literally pushing out backed up toxicity for like 40-45 years, depending on how old you are. I don't know if I told you the story of a colleague of mine, health coach colleague of mine, who was doing this process, and one day she went and pooped, and she pooped out a little blue Barbie shoe that she had swallowed when she was 3. And she was in her 40s. It was stuck inside her system. And it's
no way.
Yeah.
So I had to
yeah. So we're holding on to like the bread and the cheese and the burgers and the sodas and the junk and everything that you've been eating. It's lodged in there. It's like collected in there. It's like backed up bacteria and toxins, and it takes time. To really, really clear all that, I want to say like not before a year, depending on your symptoms, to really, really get in there and have a system that's light and clear. It's going to take time. So, but we have time, thankfully. So be patient with the process.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, let me just let all these ladies in. Dina, go ahead.
Hi, Dana.
Hello.
So I wasn't very, so I listened very well to what you said, but is it even for diarrhea? That was my question. Can it lead to, after the celery juice, to just have severe diarrhea?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Like,
okay.
Diarrhea.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a great thing. Like, we were so conditioned that diarrhea is a bad thing, and we need to go and take medicine to stop diarrhea. But diarrhea is one of the body's natural ways of elimination. Your body needs, when it knows that there's something in your body that it doesn't want there, like if you're not detoxing and on a normal day and you wake up and you've got diarrhea, it's because the body's just flushing. The same way that you get a runny nose, the body's flushing in another way. The same way that the body releases through the skin, through acne and rashes, the body's flushing. So these are all really, really great signs. They might be uncomfortable, right? fair enough, uncomfortable, but flip it like, oh my gosh, my body is working. My body is getting rid of toxins. My body's thanking me that I'm finally doing something where I'm giving it the chance to do what it needs to do. And only the body knows how to heal. We just have to give it the right conditions. And then it takes over and it does what it needs to do. So don't worry about the diarrhea. Don't worry about having to run to the bathroom. And then it's just like, I remember when I first did this, I was like, where's all this coming from? It was just like, where is it coming from? That can happen. And that's a good thing. Let it happen.
Okay, but the celery juice was really not very tasty for me. So is it something that we will go beyond the 21 days? Or
Yeah. It's a
every
cumulative
day?
thing. Yeah. To keep getting the healing benefits of the celery juice, you're going to keep taking it. If you're using, ideally, you should be using what's called the French celery here in Egypt, not the Egyptian celery. So the French celery is the one that's more light green and it has the big, leaves at the end of it. And the Egyptian one is
Yeah,
more
that's
dark.
what-
Yeah, so you don't want to use that one. And I always find the easiest way to drink celery juice is with a straw. And there's going to be based on the crop, and I've noticed this here, and I've noticed it in Canada when I lived in Canada, depending on the time of year and depending on the crop, sometimes the celery, even without the leaves, tends to be just a little bit more bitter. And sometimes it's just got this beautiful, neutral, really, really refreshing taste. There's no way to know which one you're going to get, but when you come across the really neutral, refreshing taste, it helps you to, push through the times when it's bitter. And then when you start seeing the results, right? I mean, celery juice, I think one of the first things that helped me overcome was night sweats. And it was like a miracle worker, removing all the stuff. But I noticed that when, for whatever reason here, I don't always find the celery. So if I come off the celery for a week or two and I haven't changed anything with how I eat, I notice that the night sweats get worse. So because it's so powerful at clearing out the liver, it really is. And if you use a straw, you can drink it in like literally 2 minutes and be done with it. And remind yourself of how healing it is. Always talk to your mind to make things easier for you. Instead of saying, Marianne said, it's not my cup of tea, right? So I'm going to catch your thought there, Marianne. It's not my cup of tea, or I'm struggling. So that's going to make it harder to wake up every day and have your celery juice versus this is healing me. This is medicine. This is going to make my night sweats go away. This is going to help me with my energy. Reframe what you're telling yourself when you're about to drink it, instead of saying, oh my God, this is horrible. This is yucky. How am I going to finish it? Ew, like that. That's just going to make it harder. Everything that we think either facilitates everything we're doing in our life or makes everything we're doing in our life a lot more difficult, a lot more challenging.
So I wanted to also ask you, is this program suitable for men? Because
Yes.
I have a family member who has autoimmune and a really severe one, so he can use it.
Yes. So in terms of the nutrition, inflammation is the same in men and women. For us, it shows up in particular ways specific to our hormones, but dealing with inflammation in the body is the same. So we actually have a gentleman who is doing the program currently. They can join the program. They get the meal plan. They get the emails. The thing is they don't join the Facebook group because I prefer to keep that just a females only zone, so you guys can feel comfortable sharing, especially if we're talking hormonal things, right? If you're talking about your periods and things like that. And they don't get to join the session, the Zoom sessions either. But in terms of the nutrition, yes, anybody can do that.
So, okay, my final question is, it took me hours to prepare all the celery, the veggies, and it's just for 3 days. So I know it will take a lot more if I'm gonna prepare for a week. And I know most homes here in Egypt have help, but we don't. Me and my husband, he doesn't prepare help at home, so we do everything ourselves. So will it always be like that, or do you have some tips to help us maybe make it quicker?
I've done it all. I've done it completely by myself and I've done it with help. So either way, either way, believe it or not, has its challenges. So when you're on your own, what I would recommend for the celery, the smoothies, definitely prepare them in the plastic bags ahead of time. And I mean, it is going to require you to spend at least one day, a few hours in the kitchen prepping. Like there's no way that it's not going to require at least that to save you hours during the week. So you need to decide what's more important for you. Do you need to have more time during the week free to do other things? Or do you need to have more time on the weekend free to do other things? Maybe you can invest a little bit of time during the week. So I always found when I was doing this 100% by my own, and I was living in Toronto, is I would prep the celery, wash it, cut off the leaves, chop it, and put it in a big bowl of water in the refrigerator. And I was making celery juice for, 5 people. I made my son have it too, me and my husband and my daughters and my son. So there was a ton of celery in the refrigerator. And then for the smoothies, I would prep them. I would do, again, because I was making for 5 people, I would prep them in the bags and put them in the freezer. And that would at least save me a lot of time in the morning. They could even, for example, take the smoothie and put it in the blender themselves or help out. I mean, you don't have, if it's just you and your husband, maybe he could also do that some mornings. When it came to the food preparation, I always make things and eat twice. So I always, whenever I'm cooking, let's say I'm making vegetables, or even when on a day we're doing something traditional, Egyptian food, double it. If you're marinating chicken or marinating meat, anytime, double it, because you're standing in the kitchen anyway. You're standing there chopping vegetables anyway. You're standing there marinating chicken or prepping meat anyway. Double it or triple it. Put the double or triple portion in the freezer. Use what you want for that day and the next day. And then every single time you're prepping, you're putting something away in the freezer. Every single time you have something ready to go. To pull out chicken that you just put in the oven, or to pull out meat you just put in the oven. For the salads, I mean, I'm kind of lucky. My family like really simple salads, just like lettuce and tomatoes, and that's it. So we don't have to make anything complicated. Make the dressings in a big jar. So double or triple the dressing, put it in a tight, airtight jar also. So you have the dressing ready for the whole week. So you're going to find your own rhythm with this. But again, for me, it was always more important to have more free time during the week when I was doing it alone. So I would invest, usually I would do it on a Friday. So that was the last day of the week in Toronto. I would do it on a Friday so that I wouldn't have to use my weekend. I'd spend 2-3 hours on a Friday, prep everything for the week. And then during the week, I would just have to do like I don't think I would spend more than half an hour or 45 minutes in the kitchen, like prepping, putting something in the oven. And then obviously there's the cleanup, but that's a whole different thing. You have to do the cleanup in all cases. But one thing I used to do with the juicer, I don't know if this helps any of you guys, in the mornings when I used to make the celery juice, and if I was in a rush because I had to go walk my son to school in the morning and there was no help, no nothing, and sometimes I would make other juices, I would take the juicer if I don't have time to wash it in the morning, take the part that actually juices, and I would put it in the fridge so that the whatever fruits are inside, the pulp and everything doesn't rot. Leave it, and then whenever I come back, wash it. So if you are short on time in terms of cleanup in the morning, this was like, I forget who told me this. It was brilliant. I just finished, pop the little machine part in the refrigerator so the fruits don't rot. Because if you leave it out on your counter and you leave, it's going to be gross when you come back. Whenever you come back, wash it, and it's ready to go. If you have help, then I would recommend that I always give my help like the stuff that I really don't want to do. So basically the washing. Like I really don't want to do the washing up anymore. Like been there, done that. So she does the washing, and then I do the organization. And I'm the one who always makes the smoothies. I'm the one who always makes the juices. So for both ways, there's trial and error. Let's put it that way. There's no easy answer for both ways. And because this is a lifestyle, it is going to take trial and error through, because not every single day of the week is the same. Not every single weekend is the same. Not every month is the same for you as a couple or as a family. So find what works for you, and don't let it discourage you if like 1 week you're really on top of it and you're really organized and everything goes really well, and then the week after that it flops and you're completely not organized and nothing goes according to plan. That's we call that failing forward, right? It's part of the process.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Lamia, go ahead. Lamia, unmute yourself, please, if you're speaking.
Hi, Dana. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. I just wanted to apologize for coming in late. I've heard all the other sessions you've had, and just wanted to say good morning to everyone. And it's a pleasure to be back, and I can't wait to feel my best at the end of this program. And that's it. I just wanted to pop in and say hi, and so excited to be back. That's all.
Thank you, Lamia. Thank you so much. Love it, love it, love it. Love having you back.
Thank you.
I think I have a couple of questions here. Minna, what about headache? What can we do? So headaches are going to happen, especially as you're going through caffeine withdrawal, processed sugar withdrawal, all of that, you're going to get a headache. The remedy for your headaches is the peppermint and lavender essential oils. I gave you that recipe in the emails, and you have that recipe also in the guide. So you need to buy peppermint essential oil, lavender essential oil. You can get them from Black Lotus or Arij Aromatherapy. If you need to get them today, when you go to any mall, they have those stalls in the middle of the mall where they sell both Black Lotus and Arij Aromatherapy. You can get them there if you don't want to wait to order them. And then what you need to do is get some coconut oil or even some olive oil, because you never want to put these oils on your skin, directly on your skin. Put a bit of oil in the palm of your hand, put 2 to 3 drops of the peppermint, 2 to 3 drops of the lavender, mix it all together, and then massage it into your head, massage it into the back of your neck, massage it here, and actually anywhere where you might feel any kind of body aches as you're going through this process. And then if it wears off, reapply. You can keep reapplying as often as you want. You don't have to wait for a certain period of time to pass before reapplying. All right. And then rest as much as you can, sleep as much as you can. This is the weekend. That's why we start this process on a weekend. Let yourself sleep, let yourself rest. You're not missing out on anything if you don't go out this weekend, if you don't do what you usually do this weekend. On the contrary, this is time invested in you, time invested in your healing. Your body is working really hard for you. So work with your body as much as you can. Amira. Hi, Amira. She says, hi, Dana. What's your question? Mary Ann, I always use peppermint directly as I have always suffered from headaches. Well, ideally, you always want to also use an oil, what we call carrier oils, because it's more effective. It's called a carrier oil because it carries the oil through your skin, through the barriers, into your cells more effectively. So try that also, Marianne. Amira, can we do the celery juice and freeze it so I can take it while traveling? Yes. If you decide to freeze the celery juice, just don't freeze it in a glass jar. So maybe you want to freeze it also in plastic bags, or plastic bags is the best way, because yeah, when you freeze it, you risk it exploding in your freezer. But definitely you could do that. You can make like a week's worth of celery juice and freeze it. Take it out the night before though, so it can thaw and be the right temperature and right consistency for you the next morning. Another question, my smoothie today was 800 plus. That was too much for me. Shall I take it all? You need to consume a minimum of 500 milliliters of your smoothie. Drink that. And if you feel like you can have the rest, maybe an hour later, half an hour later, you can use that as your mid-morning snack, then you can do that. But a minimum of 500, please. Marianne, oh, okay, will do. Thank you. You're welcome. Nuran, I usually marinate chicken with yogurt and packed herbs like Noor or Maggi. All right, so you're gonna get rid of the Noor and the Maggi. Those are toxic chemical concoctions. If you're using them in anything, any of you using this in your home cooking, throw them out today. They are one of the most toxic things to add to your food. And yogurt, obviously dairy, we're not going to use dairy. One of the things my kids love is honey and mustard, believe it or not, like a honey mustard. So with some herbs, right? With any of fresh herbs like oregano, like thyme, whatever it is, that's one that they love. and we make it with the like grainy mustard. So not like the processed, you know, yellow American mustard, but like the whole grain mustard. And you would do the basic recipe is 1 tablespoon grainy mustard, 1 tablespoon raw honey, and 1 tablespoon olive oil, and then salt and pepper and whichever herbs you want. And then obviously increase that depending on however many pieces of chicken or meat, or I sometimes use it to marinate the vegetables also. This is a really, really popular one. The other really nice one that you could use for your family and for yourself once you're not doing 9 days is tahina. Tahina is a great marinade for vegetables and for poultry and for everything. Just plain tahina, but add some herbs like dill or something to it, and just put a little coat on the vegetables, like coat all the vegetables before you put them in the oven, or coat the chicken before you put it in the oven. Lots and lots of things that you can do besides yogurt. All right, Amira says, perfect. Thank you. Nuran, Dijon mustard. Yes, so any of the mustards that are like quality mustards, right? Like, but the Heinz mustard, the American mustard, those like, that's just chemicals. You want, you know, grainy Dijon or, you know, whole grain mustard. Yes. Dina, where can we get the grainy mustard? I've gotten it at Gourmet. I've gotten it on InstaShop. Like it's easy to find. It's not like one of those delicacies at all. It's easy to find. Sally, go ahead.
Hi. I'm having the best time بتهيألي in my life.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not exaggerating, really.
Okay.
Really. Because I feel the support, I feel your energy attending to every single one of us, and everything is so informative, and so maybe I'm so ready for it or in need of it as well. So it's like I'm getting shivers now. It's a great feeling.
Oh,
I'm
so happy. I'm so happy for you.
And I've been trying shakes for a month now, and it was never like the morning one. So it's like a magical one, and I'm enjoying very much. It's like just the quitter brain. I'll tell you what it's telling me. Okay,
Tell me.
that I'm 57, and the cortisone I'm on now, it's 40 milligram, the Celebread, and I've been doing this series shift for more than a month now, strictly doing it on my own, not with somebody like you, professional. So maybe I did wrong things or overloaded my liver with the kind of thing I'm doing, you know, because I wasn't doing regular snacks, and I was just nibbling so many times on everything allowed. And then it's telling me also, so maybe now for this 21 days, I'll strain my organs and stopping the 10,000 vitamin D and the calcium the doctor prescribed maybe is something a bit risky with what I'm experiencing. That's it. But it's just, I know that it's the quitter brain.
Yes.
So but I wanted to share with you. I wanted your security on this.
Yeah. No, you're good.
I couldn't have harmed myself for a month and more trying to shift. I stopped everything, you know.
No, you couldn't. I mean, like I said, you couldn't have done it wrong. Like, I don't know what you were doing for the past month, right?
I stopped all milk, dairy products, carbohydrates. I'm just eating fruits, vegetables, as you say, nuts, and maybe I don't know, the things you allow, nothing more.
Yeah,
you know.
No, then there was no strain on your organs. Like, no, I mean, on the contrary, you have relieved your liver and all of your organs. Maybe, yes, you weren't quite knowledgeable in like specifically how to replenish the deficiency, but there's no way to do it wrong. When I say that, you know, as long as you're keeping the inflammatory foods out, you're doing your body such an incredible service that you really can't do it wrong. We tweak things as we go along. There's a more maybe optimal way of doing it, but have you done it wrong? Have you unintentionally strained your organs or done anything? By no means, no. So
I'll give my quitter brain a kick on the head now.
I mean, it's enough that you say I'm having the best time of your life. You're literally kicking that critter brain like out the door every single day. That's
I'm
enough.
having,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm having early morning walks in the compound as early as 4:45 before 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I never dreamt of doing this, but I feel a total freedom and
Yes.
a total safety and a total beauty in my gardens I never enjoyed before. And I feel lighter, of course, because of the diet, and I feel motivated because the thing I got 1 month ago is giving me a kick. So with all your support, I really appreciate. I just wanted to ask two questions, little questions. That I take my Sulipred after 1 o'clock after midnight, unfortunately. So yesterday I took a banana. I always take a banana, not to take it on a. So I
Right.
don't know what I can do on this.
No, that's okay. Obviously, if there's medication you have to take and you can't take it on empty stomach, then you do what you have to do. And a banana is the best thing to take because a banana actually is full of magnesium, and magnesium will help to relax you and help for you to go back to sleep. And it's easy for the liver to digest. Like, it's not a load, like it'll go through your system in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to share also, I don't know, my sleeping, I don't sleep more than 5 hours, 4 hours, and it's still interrupted, although I enter early, but I decide at 3 o'clock that I wake up and I don't want to sleep again. I don't feel sleepy.
Okay. But this is only like, this is early days, right? This is early days with you shifting your sleeping routine. So after, I'm guessing, many years of having it go in a certain way, and now you're consciously making the effort to adjust it. So again, this is not going to happen overnight. Like, it's not going to be, okay, I'm going to go into bed early and I'm suddenly going to have 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. No. It's not going to go like that. So just manage your expectations also. And especially like if you're waking up to take medication and things like that, that is going to get in the way of sleep. The other thing that gets in the way of deep sleep is whether you've been exposed to screen time before you sleep, right? Most of us, the last thing we do is like look at our phone and then try and go to sleep. Ideally, you want to be if you decide you're going to go into bed at 9 or 10, then ideally minimum an hour and a half before that is no screens, to give your brain waves time to decompress and to relax. If the last thing you're looking at is a screen right before you go into bed, whether that's your phone, whether that's a TV, whether that's your laptop, that's going to keep your brain waves very activated. On top of a liver that might be, we've been like, we pushed it to work this month. So those two things together will keep your body very wired and very difficult to go into deep sleep.
Okay. Yeah, and for the lemon bloom tree tea, I couldn't find. Yeah.
The lemon balm tea, that's, you either find it at Blessed Herbal Botanicals. You have that link in your shopping resources, or you can find it on the Attar brand that makes like all the other teas and everything. It's starting to be available in some supermarkets, ready-made, packaged in little tea bags. If you still don't find it, don't worry about it. Like, keep looking for it. I think somebody told me the one at Blessed Botanicals is out of stock. If you don't have it today or tomorrow, it's not going to throw off your results, right? This is a long-term process. So as long as you get it eventually and incorporate it eventually, that's fine.
Yeah, because I have the hibiscus already, so I think this is enough. Okay, great. You said when we keep the stalks of the celery, we put in a bowl of water in the fridge?
Yeah, this is one of the best ways to prepare large quantities of celery ahead of time and ensure that they don't get like dry and wilted in the fridge. So cut off the leaves, obviously, cut off the ends, cut off the leaves, wash really well, chop them into chunks, and then put them in a big bowl of water and put that in your refrigerator. It keeps them nice and crisp and fresh. Okay,
great. Just last question about the amount in mid-morning snack. There is no amount mentioned, right? The fruits, dates, apples, it's open?
It's open. When we start on Sunday, it's going to be a minimum of 2 apples and I think 2 or 3 dates. But if you want to have more, you can have more.
And for the lunch, the last thing is I don't go through the recipes and I'm not reading much because my eyes, and I don't feel I can prepare something new. So can I have a very simple تغششينا كده meal?
As long, like I said, as long as you're keeping
mushroom.
You can do any, for these first 3 days, right? Any vegetables, salads, and protein for lunch and dinner.
The
That's it.
quantity?
With
Quantity?
the exception of the protein is just one portion, right? There's unlimited quantities for the vegetables, whether you have that cooked, roasted, or in a salad or in a soup. There's no limit on the quantities of vegetables, just a limit on the portion of animal protein.
So it's 250 milligram, for instance, the animal protein?
One slice, like one chicken breast, one meat fillet, one salmon fillet, one fish fillet. Yeah.
I have a fish, a whole fish for today, a buri small fish. So I am not
That's
sure I
fine.
can take
That's
it.
fine. Yeah, because when you take out all the meat inside that, that's not a lot. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Hang on, let me see the questions in the Q&A. Rasha, so we can use grainy mustard in our salad dressing in these first 3 days? Yes, you can. Not starting Sunday. Malak, I can't find lemon balm tea. Where can I find it? I just said, so if you can't find it, Blessed Botanicals, there's the Attar brand. You can search for it on InstaShop and in supermarkets. Those are the only two that I know. So if Blessed Botanicals is out of stock, I would see if you can make an order or let him inform you as soon as it's back in stock. And don't worry about it. Whenever you get it, you get it. Sending you love, Sally. So brave and amazing. I know, right? Rasha, what are your thoughts about kale chips? I feel I need something savory. If you're making them at home, by all means. So if you know how to make them, kale chips, little bit of sea salt, put them in the oven. You can have those, but not starting Sunday. So if you need them in these first 3 days, yes, not starting Sunday. I like you answered that. Thank you. You're welcome. Amira, sorry, I didn't hear well the bowl and the celery. What do we do? Again, please prep your celery, wash it, top it, tail it, get rid of the leaves, chop it into small pieces, and then get a big bowl and put the celery in it and fill it with water so that the celery is covered in water, and put it in the refrigerator, and it'll keep for like 4 days, for example. The longest I've kept it is 4 days. It'll keep the celery nice and fresh and crisp. The quantity for the dressing is for 1 serving or more. For the orange dressing, if you're talking about Sunday, that is for 1. If you're talking about the recipes for these 3 days, each one tells you how much, but it's typically more than 1. So I would just make the whole quantity and then just take 1 or 2 tablespoons to use on your salad or whatever recipe it is. Nuran, lemon balm is on Amazon. On Amazon Egypt, Nuran? Wow, okay, I didn't know that. Perfect. Yes, we'll make them at home. Great, you're welcome. Salma, Imtinan's lavender and chamomile tea has lemon balm in it. No, I need you to have pure lemon balm on its own of a high quality. Imtinan's products, unfortunately, are not the best quality. So I prefer you get it fresh from Blessed Botanicals or get the one from the Attar brand. Maha, go ahead.
Hello, Dana.
Hi.
This round, my husband started with me his 2nd round. He started the 9. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yani, thank you so much for this.
Amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. He has a lot of stress in his work, and I don't know how to help him in this specific way. Yani, I had another condition. Yani. So if he's suffering from stress hormones, what should he focus on?
Well, in terms of nutrition, if he's doing the plan and he's on his 2nd round of the 9-day deep talk,
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first thing that he can do in order to internally lower his cortisol levels. All right, so I'm guessing if he was drinking coffee, he's off of coffee, he's off of all the other stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to take time. How he deals with stress on his day-to-day, this is something that he needs to decide. This is a mindset thing, right? Like Maha, I'm going to teach you guys something called the thought model next week. Maha, you know about the thought model.
Yes, I taught him the thought model.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can show him how to do that. And if there's something particularly stressful going on in his life, he can use that exercise to try and like choose a different way of dealing with it. But most people, you can't really make them manage their stress unless they decide to. Most people believe that there's no way to manage stress. Most people believe that whatever stress is there, you're stuck with it and it's just going to stress you out, and you're sort of like a passive player in the stress in your life. You're not, but this is something that takes time, and he needs to start with the conviction that he can deal with his stress more. If you like, Maham, message me. There's something that my husband does, because he's always very like, I think most men are like just high wired, especially with like the financial issues and like all the financial news these days. So they're all like panicking and really stressing out. There's a thing that my husband listens to on a daily basis, and he says that it helps him start his day calmer. It helps him sort of reframe his thoughts. So if your husband is open to that, he needs to be open. Like always ask him, are you open to blah, 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 blah? And so, because you don't want to ever force anything. If he says he's open to it, message me and I can give you the name or the link of they're like these like YouTube videos that he listens to and watches every day.
Thank you so much. This is very helpful. May I ask you another question, please?
Of course.
I just have concerns about the plastic. Yani, I'm using straws, I'm using plastic bags, zipper bags, and I know that PBA yani acts like certain hormones in our
Yes, it
body.
does. Yeah.
How can I limit this?
So for the straws, you can buy metal straws. You can get those on Amazon Egypt. For if you use like plastic Tupperware at home, gradually replace all of those with glass Tupperware so that you're not storing anything in plastic. The only other thing then would be like putting the smoothies in plastic bags. I haven't found a replacement for that, because to freeze things, I mean, what you can do is see if you can find BPA-free plastic bags. If you find those, let me know. So we try to minimize, right? We're never going to have 100 unless you're going to make your smoothie fresh every morning, right? And maybe you can't do that. You don't have the time to do that and you need to store it. Like we're never going to be 100% clean on every single level. The idea is to be as much as we can. So if you're storing in glass containers and you're drinking from metal straws and you're drinking from a glass, mason jar, and you've gotten rid of all, the chemicals in your makeup, and you're not eating, junk food and all of this stuff. And then the one thing that you do is, use plastic bags to store your smoothie ingredients because it saves you time so that you can keep this lifestyle up. Then our body can manage that. Our body can manage that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rasha, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually enjoying this journey, like you're saying. I think it's amazing that you're having us with these videos. It's a very good interaction, so we don't feel like we're doing this alone. And the way you're coaching us through it is really super amazing. So I'm very thankful for that, because I've done detox programs before, and you just feel like you're on your own. And when you're doing this with us, it makes it feel like you're sharing each thought, you're coaching us through it, and you're pushing us to our limits, I guess. I started today and I had severe diarrhea in the morning. It's like really watery diarrhea.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hold myself to the bathroom. But you said that's normal, so okay. I'm a bit confused about the timing of the meals, because if I wake up a bit later on a day, and then I have my water and celery, and then half an hour later I have my smoothie, and then how much time, or is there a specific time that I can't have anything before that time until I get to my lunch, or I can just have my lunch like an hour or two after? Is there a specific time?
The only thing I'm going to say is that don't go longer than 2 hours without food.
Okay, so I can have my salad after my smoothie with an hour and a half. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. The biggest things here is not to wake up and skip breakfast, and not to go for more than 2 hours, and not to have your last meal more than 3 or 4 hours before bedtime.
Okay, that's great. And I'm realizing I'm not drinking, I drink a lot of water. I'm not drinking as much. I heard one of the colleagues, she was saying that she's drinking more water.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking as much water, so is that normal?
That's normal. I told you yesterday, and I think I mentioned it in your email today.
Yeah,
And you're all different, right? Everybody's bodies are different. So you might feel like, you know, that quantity of fruits and vegetables is going to fulfill you, and you're not going to feel thirsty. And that's hydration. So don't feel like you're missing out. If you feel thirsty and you want to go have some water, have it. But if you actually feel like I don't need water, that's okay. Believe it or not.
Okay, because I always get worried that I'm not taking my perfect intake of water per day. So that's
I mean, why do we take water? It's hydration, right? And you're getting hydration, and even higher quality hydration from the fruits and vegetables.
Okay, and the other question is I've discussed it with you on Instagram before about eggs. Okay, so I am very interested in hormones and hormone health, and I took this course about hormone health, and in the course it was talking about how much the hormones are produced from fats and cholesterol, and that we need healthy fats in our diet. And to me, one of the best sources of dietary fat was organic eggs. So if I get eggs from a pure organic source like Beledi eggs, like then and if I don't have an allergy, if I don't have a histamine intolerance to them, then why? I just don't get why.
Because you know, an egg from a chicken, right, or any mammalian egg from a female animal, like, or humans, it's got the hormonal messaging to go and create another being, right? So our eggs have to go create another human being. The chicken's egg creates another chicken. It has got the hormonal codes and the concentrated hormones to literally go and create another living being. So even if it's organic, it's still going to have that concern. The other concern that has come up with eggs is that they feed viruses. So anytime we're looking at, all of us are walking around with viruses all the time. All of us have got some kind of mini viruses, old viruses, latent viruses, pathogens, bacteria in our body. All of us are walking around with that. When you consume eggs, you feed those viruses and those pathogens inside your body. That's why.
Okay, and even if they come from a clean source.
Here's the thing. When we're done with this process, test it, right? Test it on yourself. So anything that I'm just a source of information for you, right? And you happen to be doing this way of healing yourself. When you're done, test it for yourself and see. Like I used to eat eggs too. I used to eat eggs. I used to alternate eggs and smoothies in the morning, scrambled eggs, eggs with avocados, and then one morning a smoothie, one morning eggs, for the same reason that you're saying. But then when my hormones went crazy, it just didn't work anymore to have eggs, right? So there could be something in theory that is fine and no problem in theory, but testing it on myself, it doesn't work. Like in theory, organic, grass-fed, hormone-free beef can be good for you. But every time I eat a piece of steak, and I still enjoy it every once in a while, every time I eat it, I wake up that night drenched in sweat, like clockwork. And I've tried to cleanse my body deeper, and I've done a 28-day juice cleanse, and I was like, that's it, khalas, I'm sure whatever is still in there that's not working is going to work, and I can have a piece of steak and not wake up drenched in sweat. Didn't work. So did I stop? Do I stop having the steak? I don't know. I'll still have it, but I know my body's not going to be too happy with it. And I know that night I'm going to wake up with a nice sweat. So test these things out for yourself. I know that when I have eggs, like when I travel, sometimes you can't always find a smoothie, a bar next to you or whatever, or you're going out with family and friends and the breakfast is like eggs. So I will have an egg. but it's not part of my regular routine. And on the day that I have an egg, I'll have like an omelet, or I have like scrambled eggs or something. I get a horrible headache, like an hour afterwards, and my stomach feels completely bloated. It doesn't give me night sweats like the red meat. It gives me something else. So I know that on some level I'm bloated because it's feeding the viruses, or my digestive system is not happy with it, and it's overloading my liver. So with all of these things, test them, but you need to keep them out of your body long enough so that the test is clear.
Okay, so it depends on each person, from an individual to an individual, like you're saying.
It depends on individual to individual, but with some things we know that long term, right? So for example, like if I know the red meat is like not the worst thing that I can eat, by all means. Like if the option is for me to, you know, eat a sandwich, like a cheese sandwich, or a piece of meat, no, I'm going to eat the meat 100%. My body is going to recognize that. That comes from nature. It's an animal. We're part of that process. And you can say the same thing for eggs, but there are some things that we know, even if you go and have a cheese sandwich and you have a zero reaction to it, there's something called silent inflammation. So the things that we know can silently create issues, you want to minimize them. You want to, as much as you can, keep them for the things you have every once in a while, not the things that you have every single day on a regular basis.
Okay, so would you suggest we have like a clean source of fat that would feed our hormones properly at this age?
You're doing the natural fats you're getting from, well, believe it or not, plant fruits and vegetables have fat content. And then once we get out of the 9 days, you've got sesame, which is an amazing natural source of fat. You've got avocados, you've got olive oil, you've got coconut oil if you want to use it. Those are all natural fats. You don't have to get them from animals, because what you're also getting from the animals is additional hormones. And if your hormones are still not balanced, or if you eat a piece of meat like me and it tips your hormones again, you need to find that balance for you. You know, maybe it's, you know, I can have fish and nothing happens to me when I have fish. I can have a piece of chicken and nothing happens to me. So then I'm going to eat those. So you have to find what works best for your body, and your hormones are going to work without it. Like your hormones are not waiting for an egg to function properly, and they're not waiting for necessarily fats to function properly. The way your hormones function properly is determined by the state of your liver. So if your liver is overburdened by too much animal protein and too much fat, even the good one, there's nothing that you can do to balance your hormones. It's not related. In fact, if you have too much fat, that's when we see the imbalance of hormones. Like all the ladies who do keto, all the women who come to me who've been doing keto, which is basically eating animal protein and eating animal fat, their hormones are completely off. Eggs, meat, and I think some versions of keto do lots of dairy. Sure, they might have lost some weight and that's why they did it, but all the hormone symptoms are off completely. The high estrogen, the no sleeping, the no energy, the indigestion, like everything is off. And that's because keto, that fat, overloads the liver. And if the liver is overloaded, it can't process and it can't filter your hormones. So the focus needs to shift to the health of your liver.
Okay, I get it.
Right.
And yeah, I just want one more question. What's the best way to cook with olive oil, coconut oil, and what are your thoughts about ghee, buffalo?
Yeah, the any one of those. So if your body can tolerate the animal fat, as long as you're getting hormone-free, grass-fed, samna baladi, basically, if you can get it from somebody in the farms, not the commercial ones in the supermarkets. Olive oil, definitely. With coconut oil, yes, but for a lot of people, coconut oil leaves an aftertaste that they don't necessarily like in their food. True. So olive oil is the best one. It's a neutral taste and it's easy to use and easy to find.
Okay, so samna baladi, if you get it from a good source, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the three best ones. You're welcome. Those are the three best ones, you know, that, you know, we've been sort of told to move away from, and we've been told to use all the horrible seed oils instead. Like, that's why everybody got sick. Like, our great grandparents who were using Samna Baladi didn't get sick. Everybody got sick when we stopped using the original stuff, right? We stopped using the original stuff. We moved away. They pushed us towards the seed oils, pushed us towards the processed food. And then that's when everybody started getting sick. All right.
Yeah. And yeah, the soups, we can't have soups after Sunday.
Well,
I mean,
Sunday,
Sunday we
here's what happens on Sunday. For some of you, if for one of two reasons, either the bloating gets too difficult starting Sunday when you start eating all of those vegetables, or if you get bored, what you can do with those vegetables, the broccoli, the asparagus, like all of that collection of vegetables that you're going to roast, you can roast that or boil those, and you can turn those into a soup if you want.
Okay, great.
So that's an option also.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hang on, we have some here. Nahla, El Attar, Melissa, I found an Oscar. Oh, there we go, ladies who couldn't find it. Lubna, wouldn't soaking celery in water make it lose all its nutrients? No, believe it or not, it doesn't. It keeps it fresh, and you know that it's got its nutrients because it retains its color and it retains its crispiness. So don't ask me why, but that works for celery. Marianne, Samna Baladi, also known as ghee. Yes, but not just any ghee, because fortunately the food industry has like jumped on this, and people like ghee, and like people like want to like go back sort of to like traditional foods. So they created like these hydrogenized versions of ghee. You want to get original versions of ghee. Anybody else have any questions for today? Lubna, go ahead.
Yeah, one last question. I did post on the group that the smoothie came out to be 1 liter.
Yeah.
I did drink it. I loved it. It was perfect, but 1 liter. Is that is that okay? I mean, is that
okay.
correct?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And
Enjoy
I've
it.
been I loved it, but I've been in and out of the bathroom today. I mean, yeah. Like 5 or 6 times. Is this normal?
That's normal. Yep. Flush. Think of it.
Flush. Okay. The other thing, the moment I started having the smoothie, I started coughing. Is this also normal?
Oh, so was it like there was like, did you feel like there was mucus that needed to come out?
No, it was like a dry irritating cough, as if I don't know, and it lasted like for like 2-3 minutes, and then it cleared.
Okay, let's keep track of that. Like, we typically don't worry about something if it happens once. All right, so keep track of that if that continues. I would also keep track of if it evolves into you needing to, like, mucus needs to come out. Okay, because that's one thing that all of these fruits and vegetables do, right? They're gonna mucus is sort of lodged in our bodies and in our organs. This is where like toxins are held. So if some of you find that you have a runny nose, or you need to cough, and you need to, like, mucus comes out when you cough, that's a good thing, because basically that mucus, like tough, tight mucus, is being dislodged and needs to come out. So keep track of that, Lubna.
The runny nose came later.
Okay.
The runny nose came after I finished the 1 liter.
Okay.
And it was like I started having cold symptoms.
There it is.
So weird.
Yeah. It's releasing it. That's part of the release. The diarrhea, going to the bathroom, the mucus being released, coming out through your throat or through your nose, toxicity being released through your skin. You might find you're sweating more. Some of you might find your sweat smells, can be a bit stinky in the next while. All of that is toxicity coming out.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lamia, when is the right time to drink the moringa and the lemon balm? So the lemon balm is in the evening. One is in the evening. If you want to have more during the day, you can. And the moringa, again, during the day, whenever you want.
Did you tell us?
Oh, and the limit. Yes, I looked it up. The limit for moringa was 3 cups a day. 3 cups of moringa a day is your limit. And if it's too much for your body, then sort of overdosing on moringa will lead to loose stools or diarrhea. Which, if you're already having loose stools and diarrhea, you might not know which one's causing it. So, but 3 cups is the limit. Rasha and Sally and Lubna, do you have more questions, or your hands are just up still?
Lowered my hand.
Okay. Sally.
I just needed to ask about the almonds. We can snack on it for the 3 days.
Yes.
How many ones?
I would say a handful, like, you know, whatever you can fit in the palm of your hand. Like that's like maybe 5, 6.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be in the timing you have for it has to be within the timings, right?
No. I mean, if you're hungry and you want to snack on almonds in these first 3 days, remember these first 3 days is your mind and your body having to learn a lot. And there's a lot of the cravings that we are shocking in these next 3 days. So whatever you can do to alleviate that shock to your cravings, if that means snacking on a handful of almonds in what appears to be not during a snack time, that's okay. Do it.
Lovely. Okay, thank you for this.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else? Amazing, ladies. I am available for you this weekend. As I told you, we don't have a video tomorrow. We don't have a video on Saturday. So if you're not caught up with the videos, I highly recommend that you spend some time Friday and Saturday catching up with all the videos, seeing maybe there's something that we talked about or discussed in the videos that is not discussed. And there is a lot we discuss here that's not discussed in the group, that's not in your material. If you have other questions about that, I am available for you this weekend. I will pop into the group to check on you Friday and Saturday. Let me know if your detox withdrawal symptoms get a little bit too intense for you. Let me know so I can help you overcome them. Share if things are going amazing and you're feeling great. Continue to share the photos of your preparation, of your food, all of that. This is all creates a really, really incredible, uplifting and motivating spirit and energy in the group. So keep doing that. Nahla, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. I just want to tell you I'm feeling very good. I feel a lot of inspiration. I woke up very early. I stayed in the kitchen. Once I am in the kitchen, I have no issue. Once I sit down, then I feel that I want to sleep. I don't know why.
You mean just since you started and you've removed like coffee and all the processed foods and everything?
No, I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
I don't drink coffee, but I take like 1 cup of green tea, but I don't think I am addicted to caffeine. So, but I don't know why. Sometimes when you are full of energy, but you keep doing things, then once you sit down, you feel like all the tiredness come up and you cannot do anything.
This is recovery time, right? So it's natural for as long as we have, and what we're trying to work towards is a state of energy during the day, but you're going to have to temper that with downtime also. So let's say you've spent 2 hours in your kitchen this morning, right? 2 hours prepping and cooking and standing. It's normal that at the end of those 2 hours, you're going to need to sit a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to need to sit, gather your thoughts, gather your body again, give it a moment, and then get up and do whatever it is you need to do again. So this idea that we should have incredible energy like the whole day is unrealistic. We want to have energy to do the things that we need to do with the knowledge that we need to have recuperation times. And nobody has the same amount of energy throughout the day in exactly the same way. There are peaks and there's a little bit of a low, and then it peaks and a little bit of a low. But we want to make sure that the peaks are really good, right? Most people are way below that line. There's no peak. There's like just low energy, low, like that, right? But if you have enough energy to do what you need to do, then you need to recover a little bit and then do the next thing you need to do, and then you recover a little bit. That's working with your body instead of forcing your body to go against what's natural for it.
Okay. Another question. I'm trying to convince my family, my husband and my daughter, to share with me what I'm doing so that I can lessen the efforts in the kitchen.
Yeah,
of course. So my daughter, she's fond of pasta. She can eliminate anything, but not the pasta.
Yeah.
What should I do for her?
How old is she?
She's 27.
Oh, so she's an adult. Like,
yes.
Yeah. So number one, you can't make her do anything. She's an adult. If she was like 3 or 4, I would just say, just throw the pasta out. It's done. But 27-year-old, you can't, and your husband, you can't make them do anything that they don't want to do. It's called free will. Nobody can make anybody do something they don't want to do. You can have a conversation with her, at least explain to her that the reason she can't stop eating pasta is because she's addicted to the sugar. That's why. Okay. That's why everybody panics at stopping pasta and stopping bread and stopping eating cheese. Cheese is a source.
But she loves pasta.
She loves it because it's a drug. This is her drug, right? This is her drug. So pasta turns into sugar in the body. It turns into toxic sugar in the body. It turns into the toxic sugar that lights up 8 pleasure centers in her brain. So why would she give it up? You know, why? Why would you give up something that gives you so much pleasure? But people don't know that, right? They just think it's something I love and I don't want to give it up. They don't understand that there's a biochemical addiction that has taken over. Right. So it's not even about her willpower anymore. And this goes for everybody who has a hard time giving up bread and pasta and processed carbohydrates. There's a biochemical addiction that is running the show inside her. So you can start by explaining that to her, you know, but beyond that, I mean, maybe invite them to try the smoothie, invite them to try the vegetables, invite them to try the meals. But like, unless they're like, okay,
no, but if I invite her to do all of the other stuff, would it work while she's eating still pasta?
No.
If she eats only pasta?
Yes and no. So you'll see a little bit of benefit, but she's not going to see amazing results. No. And if she has specific concerns, specific issues, they're not going to be resolved as long as she's eating pasta. I mean, will it be better for her than, you know, to remove everything except pasta? Always. That's always a step forward. But will she resolve issues? Will she see amazing results while still eating pasta? No.
Okay. I'll keep convincing her what to do. No other choice.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Rasha, for desserts, can I get the almond balls from Frida? For the 3 days? Yes. After that? No. Amira, can we snack any fruit? Pineapple, for example? Yes. Pineapple, grapes, mangoes, whatever you want, all goes. And nuts? Yes, but nuts only for the 3 days, Amira. Nuran, when you said pasta, I started... Nuran says, when you said pasta, I started drooling. That's the addiction, right? That's the addiction. It's an addiction and it's in charge. So you don't want an addiction to be in charge of you. You want to be in charge of everything. You don't want anything controlling your health, because that's what happens at the end of the day. All right, ladies, thank you for your patience. A longer call than usual today, but I think definitely worth it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the enthusiasm up. Keep the energy high. Keep sharing. Keep posting. And let me know when you need help in the next couple of days. All right, ladies, have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye, Dana. Thank you very much.